called Constable Jablan Buthelezi. Now, the word Jablan means be happy. In this case, I'm not even sure whether we should be happy or not, because there has been this common occurrence amongst police. And I'm not going to say this out of hate or out of what, but I'm saying this out of pure love, that we don't trust police. You know, for them to arrive at a point where they will make us trust and believe them, I think they need to work a little bit harder. So it was the case with Constable Buthelezi. We get to hear that he himself was part and parcel of people who had played a role in assaulting people, you know what I'm saying? And when you are listening to Buthelezi, he sounds very straight and convincing until the defense had gotten hold of him and started asking questions. And then when the defense have started asking some few questions, and then you realize, tell us, where are we going? Jablan, tell us, where are we going? You know what I'm saying? So it's the case here. Mngomezulu, what color was your car? Buthelezi, it was white. Were you traveling with Constable Mapumulo? Buthelezi says, no. You will have to understand the importance of this question. Were you traveling with Constable Mapumulo? Right? And the answer is no. You know what I'm saying? And then, who is Mapumulo? That's probably your question. I'm about to answer this, but in order for me to answer that, we need to get into this journey. Are you interested to take this journey with me? If you are, then please stick around. As you stick around, there are just a few things that I'm requesting. 1, subscribe. 2, like the video. 3, comment in the comment section below. 4, share this video. 5, watch the video until the end. 6, you need to watch the ads. Doing all of these things is free of charge. So if all of these things are free, then I'm still stressed about the idea of people who don't want to commit. I put it to you that you commit now. I also put it to you that we are 63.7% of people watching my videos, they are not subscribed. And it pains me because I'm interested in reducing that number at least to 50%. It starts with you. You start committing right now. Let's get into this journey. Advocate Tulani Mngomezulu, who is representing accused number 1 and 2, had some quite interesting things to say. These people standing in the yard, how many were there? Were they not 3? Telezi says there were 2, not 3. Mngomezulu, my instruction from accused number 1 and 2, Uten, I forgot that Guti instruction nakebe. Look, what was his instruction? Right. Mngomezulu, now look, he then moves to the method of arrest that is Buthelezi described it as the takedown method, which basically it instills fear to you. Mngomezulu, does it not instill fear to a person? Buthelezi, it depends on the person. But Buthelezi previously had said that the purpose of the takedown tactics is to instill fear to you. So he says, no, it depends on the person. So does it mean that they find people who are stubborn enough to say, hey, I'm just asking. When you lifted up, look, how was he lifted up? Once a person is handcuffed, you assist them. You picked him by his head. My instruction is that you lifted him with his handcuffs. Sure, that must have been painful. Let's say you are arrested at the back, because if they say face the ground, so you're arrested at the back. What usually happens is that it must have been painful if they lift you up with the handcuffs. So, hey, That's now improper conduct, number one. Right? Number two, tell us, okay, let's continue. We'll find number two. Tell us, how long does it leave a person confused? Tell us, it depends on the person. Look, that was Mngomezulu. Tell us, it can instill an element of fear in a person. Like I said, it depends on the person. Right. Okay, we say, we're going to take that when Mngomezulu. Right. That's the... yes, he came from a different angle as Mngomezulu. Sibiya complains that he was assaulted, and so you messed with him after he was assaulted. That's the reason why you took him to go and change his clothes. And I'm like, yeah. You know, as you are looking at things from this perspective, honestly, guys, it makes sense. But again, let me give them a benefit of doubt here. He will probably be wearing a light. For instance, if I'm wearing something like this. So if I'm wearing something like this, it's very light. So, you know, if you are going down there, you definitely, let me do this a little bit. Yeah. So if you are going down, if you are going behind bars, so definitely sure you will want to wear comfortable and warm clothes. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt for now. Mngomezulu, my instruction is that you lifted him up with a handcuffed. It would have injured him if I did that. That's a lie. Okay. Accused number one, has accused number one ever been to Litabong? Butele says no. Mngomezulu, that is my instruction that after you didn't find his uncle where he resides, you took him with a car to Litabong. Okay, after you assaulted him at Litabong, he messed up on himself, and that's why he needed to change. Butele, that's a lie, people. Before this honorable court, that was not even the reason for him to change. And then I'm like, oh my God. They say he messed up. Was it the number one or the number two? If you don't get it, you know, most I'm talking about the number one and the number two that you do on the toilet. So it may, you know, if indeed it got to this level, it means it must have been a hectic, must say. These people were not playing. Yeah, they were like, you know what? We're going to deal with you, and we will make sure that we deal with you. Because honestly speaking, I don't get it. Like, how do you discipline a person to such an extent that they mess up? But there's another angle to it as well. I'm just asking myself a question to say, how can you prove this medically? Because if you can prove this medically, then you can at least sue the police for such things as well. But if you can't prove it medically, then there's no way. Or at least if there can be people that, or if there could be people that can testify that really the guy was beaten to this extent. But in this case here, I think it's going to be to prove that he was beaten to a point, or to a point where he messed up his trouser or whatever. It's going to be a little bit difficult for the court to believe. You know what I'm saying? Right? Mngomezulu, you forced an entry because you didn't know how to open that door. His uncle never came. I got the key from him, so there was no reason to break the door. Mngomezulu, why were you so kind to him? Yo, he was complaining about being arrested while wearing a brand hoodie. Oh, okay. The keys of that shack were in his were with his uncle, Kusho Mngomezulu. It's surprising. That means his uncle lives in his pocket. Okay, Mteles. Okay. I'm like, okay. Nah, he's got us there. You know what I'm saying? Mngomezulu, has accused number one ever been taken to Litabong in a municipal area? Buteles, no. Mngomezulu, that's my instruction that after he went to the place where he resides, and you couldn't find his uncle, you took him to Litabong in Tembisa. Butelezi, we were not We were not looking for that and we were never there. You know what I'm saying? But Buthelezi sounds very convincing. Okay, so yeah, let's leave the part that it is confirmed that you took him to that place as well. But again, Utum Gomezulu, and that is why you took him to change the cloth. Let's leave this part as well. Mngomezulu, you were traveling with 7 cars, Buthelezi. No, there were 2 cars. At this moment, do you trust the police? I'm asking myself. I'm asking you. Because I'll give you an example. The police in this case have ruined their reputation big time. Why? Because you signed out in an OP, you signed that this guy, who accused number 2, Bonga Ntanzi, was arrested on behalf of, was arrested for drugs. So when you signed out Bonga Ntanzi from Albertine, going to Vosloorus, it was for drug. But he gets to Vosloorus, then he allegedly confessed to a crime of Senzo where we don't even know, to get a point. So, because of certain inconsistency within the police, which has been proven, especially through the occurrence book, that's when you begin to ask yourself a question. Can you even trust them in most of the things that they say? If the person says, I was arrested and there were about 7 cars, and and the police says there were 2, who are we most likely to believe? I think I'm most likely to believe Sibiya, because honestly speaking, the police have not proven worth of our trust. I put it to you that there is no reason you assaulted him, he messed up, and you had to take him to his place to change. Buthelezi, we only went to his place once and we never returned there. Those reasons are lies. Okay, Buthelezi also didn't want to arrest those in he also didn't want to be arrested in those trousers, and I wasn't going to deny him that when he was asking politely. Mngomezulu, can you look for his ID in the fridge? You see, it is such questions that makes you ask yourself a question. What were you looking for in a fridge? Were you really looking for an ID book, or you were looking for something else? What were you looking for in an ID? In a fridge? Because a fridge, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know why my camera keeps doing this, and I don't like that. Is it a sign? Buthelezi, I did not say I was looking for an ID in the fridge. I put it to you that you look. Let's leave this one. We've already covered this one. And after you assaulted him at Letabo, Mngomezulu now moved back to the shack. The accused didn't carry the key, so you forcefully went in. Buthelezi, there's no reason for breaking in. Okay, look, Mngomezulu, you said you read him his right when you arrested him. Did you continue to read his right after discovering the ammunition? Buthelezi says yes. Mngomezulu, why were you taking the suspect to Vosloorus after arresting him in Tembisa? Vele, why was he taken there, Vele? Tell me that. Buthelezi then answered and said, I was following instruction of the investigating officer, but why was he taken there? Guys, icon. Hi, man. There's something about Vosloorus. Ntanzi confessed at Vosloorus. Sibiya is taken to Vosloorus for the why. For the why. Mngomezulu, after you forcefully gain entry into the shack where accused number 1 lived, we never broke the door of any shack. Truth tellers. Mngomezulu, you found a plastic, and was this the reason for his arrest? Buthelezi, the suspect had already been arrested, and we never arrested him for the plastic. Yes, but he was supposed to be detained in Tembisa. He was arrested there. He was arrested there. So why? Mngomezulu, look, it was not my decision as who was supposed to be detained. The investigating officer was there. Guys, there's something about Vosloorus. There's something about Vosloorus. I'm telling you, we need to look at Vosloorus in a different eye. Like, honestly speaking, there's something about Vosloorus that I don't get it. But I don't know if you're noticing what I'm noticing. Mngomezulu, so you went beyond the scope of your work. Buthelezi lies. Mngomezulu, it is more polite to say it is not true that you say it's a lie. Buthelezi, I apologize. That's not true. Mngomezulu, so you found these illegal local rounds of ammunition. Buthelezi, what do you mean? You said you asked for a license for local position of one, right? According to your answer, you said he said no. Buthelezi, yes, the bullets were in his position without a license, obviously. So did you look for the ID in the fridge? I didn't say. When I was looking for an ID, I looked inside the fridge. You open a fridge, it was not working, and found unwashed dishes. Buthelezi says, right? Mngomezulu, these offenses were committed here in Tembisa. Why were you taking him to Vosloorus? It was not my instruction. It was the investigating officer's instruction. The offense were in Tembisa. Guys, do you see what I'm saying? What I'm seeing here? Like Buthelezi, he's saying something that I'm asking myself a question, and I'm like, wait a minute, where is Buthelezi going here? Because clearly Buthelezi is going at something here. And no, not Buthelezi, but Mngomezulu. Guys, there's something off here. He was arrested in Tembisa. He ended up. And it's a similar thing that happened with accused number 2, arrested in Rustenburg. Sometimes he was in pretty local, sometimes he was at Albertine, sometimes he was at Vosloorus. And then you ask yourself a question. Hey, Buffett. Now the 31st of May 2020, and it could be more than 14 hours since his arrest. I'm worried about the answer from Buthelezi. He says, I wasn't counting. Mngomezulu, it could be, Buthelezi says yes, but don't you think he should be counting? Because remember, the person must be before court within 48 hours. So the answer that I wasn't counting, it just worries me, right? You were part of the convoy when accused number 1 appeared the second time in court on the 8th of June. Buthelezi, it's a long time, so I don't remember. Yeah, we know that they don't remember certain things. That we know for a fact. On the 1st of June 2020, did you render a transportation for accused number 1, Buthelezi, from where? Mngomezulu, Valeria, to court appearing for the first time. Buthelezi, I can't recall. Do you notice that now in crucial evidence, now that is supposed to render, he forgets? I don't know if you noticed that. There's now this trend where he forgets the most important part. He just forget. But don't worry. Let's follow up. Mngomezulu, on the 5th of June 2020, I was not part of the convoy. Buthelezi denied it. Now, did you not? So, I mean, look, let's look at this now. We want to know, he appeared for the second time in court on the 8th of June, right, 2020. So what was his first appearance? I'm interested in the first appearance. Is it the 1st of June or what? Because he must be in court within 48 hours, right? Mngomezulu, the nature of assault involved chopping. Buthelezi, I don't know anything about it. I wouldn't even know how to do it. That is Buthelezi for you all time. I'm like, hey, Buthelezi, hey, Buthelezi, hey, Buthelezi. Okay, God does me again. Mngomezulu, accused number 2 says on the 3rd of May he was in a company of 2 gentlemen when they say this Golf 7 parked on the opposite street and somebody alighted this motor vehicle, and as they were being attracted to the car, that person went to the spaza shop. Then Mngomezulu, his uncle was not there. He was then taken to Litabong. He was beaten up until he messed up himself. Buthelezi, firstly, that is not true. And secondly, if we were to beat someone like that, he will have to be checked by a doctor. Can you comment on that? Buthelezi, I can't. Right. When he was approached by the police, he was taken to his place of residence after he was asked to stay with. There's no such gusho Buthelezi. Right. Now, Besam Gobozulat, he says that the reason why you took him home to change, and then he was taken to Fosloras, and that is where he was told he must tell the truth about the death of Senzo Meyiwa. Okay, when he was approached by police officers, he was taken to his place where he said he resides with his uncle. He says it's not true. Guys, I'm noticing the trend here. There's a trend of taking people towards Fosloras. There's a trend. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to the trend. Now, then they asked him about Ntanzi. Have you seen him before? Buthelezi, I may have seen him once or twice. I saw him at Boksburg Court. Mngomezulu, what did you recall about accused number 2 at Boksburg Court? Buthelezi, we were clearing the way when they arrived there. You said you parked at the court, at the back of the court. Yeah. Mngomezulu, there is something that Vivian Cronje said to you at the Boksburg Magistrate Court. Can you remember? Buthelezi, she asked why there were so many of us. Are you trying to intimidate us? That was the child. That was the magistrate. Guys, there's something here, man, that does not make sense. Like with the police, there's something that does not make sense. Yes, the evidence is collaborated to say the magistrate asked that question, but for the magistrate to ask that question, it comes off as if their presence was a plan to intimidate the accused and all the stuff. But I don't know if you're noticing this trend. There's this trend, and it looks like they are very comfortable at Fosloras as well. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I see again. On the 19th of June, did you see accused number 2, Buthelezi? What was happening? Do you recall how many were they escorting on that day, Buthelezi? I don't recall. But look, Mngomezulu, the white lady you saw, the magistrate Vivian Cronje, what did she say? She said, why are you so many? You are intimidating us and all the stuff. Okay. Then there's this question from Mngomezulu. On the 19th of June 2020, did you see accused 2? What was happening there? So you never reported for duty, Buthelezi. What was happening on that day? Mngomezulu, do you carry any any pocketbook? There are times where we don't, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Okay, then he says that Vivian Cronje didn't look like a magistrate. I'm like, okay. So Mngomezulu referred to that and to the referred Constable to the evidence of hey guys, I'm back into training. So now the thing is, my body is inching this other side, and because of the training, now it's painful here. You know what I'm saying? Here, hey, But again, it's fine. Look, so he referred him to, they were at the Morocco police station on the 19th of June 2020. Ubutela, yes, I was on duty, but I was not at Morocco. We were doing crime prevention at Freeway Patrol on N12. So, between Jonathan and Buthelezi, one is lying and one is telling the truth. Now, like I say, when a police is not telling the truth, it's always a problem. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Again. So, but essentially, he was never at Morocco police station. Mngomezulu, who was with you on the 19th of June? Utu loko Buthelezi replied and say, it is Umapumulo. Mngomezulu, Jonathan testify he was at Morocco police station on the 19th of June. Buthelezi, I was not on duty, but look, I was on duty, but not there. You know what I'm saying? Already he says that he was with Umapumulo. After a telephonic conversation, suddenly you and Mapumulo appeared. On the N12, there is no garage. If you are driving from N3 towards Joburg, the first off-ramp is Sprayview, then Albertine, then a garage. Buthelezi, that is Mngomezulu. Okay. Hey, I'm telling you, there's something off about these people. And I'm going to keep telling you, there's something off about these people. But let's leave it for now. I will concentrate on the version where you are involved. Accused number 2 was with Mokwane and Mabena traveling with you, traveling with a white Toyota Fortuner. Buthelezi, I saw the Fortuner, but I don't know who was inside. Yeah, ne. Lana, it's a mess. The situation, guys, it's a mess. We're just going through some things. Mngomezulu utige. Sergeant Mabena had a plastic written Woolworth that was used to cover the face of the accused. Buthelezi, I don't know that. Mngomezulu, you then proceeded to Albertine and there was iron stairs. Buthelezi, I don't have the knowledge of that. Mngomezulu, after he was beaten, tortured and tubed with plastic, he had an informal meeting after he had an informal meeting after he did not confess that he had the knowledge of the death of Senzo Meyiwa. Buthelezi, that's a lie. We did not have a meeting on that day. Do you notice? Did you notice when I say to you, some incidents that happened long time ago, he doesn't remember them, and most of the time when he doesn't remember, it is instances where it will either implicate him or his fellow colleagues, and then he doesn't remember. But he remembers every instances that seeks to that is directed at him and that is going to incriminate him. Like, when it is that severe, he suddenly remembers. Do you notice that when questions such as you assaulted him on this day, it's either he's a lie or, you know what I'm saying? He remembers and is able to defend it. But when he's supposed to give certain answers that probably will lean towards that will lean towards accused number 1 or 2, he doesn't remember such information. So again, we are seeing a person with a selected memory. His memory is very selective. You know what I'm saying? So there's this element of, in his answers, there's an element of Uzungu. Zungu came there and he had a selective memory. You know what I'm saying? You all got out of the vehicle and Mabena removed the handcuffs from the bag and the jacket accused number 2 was wearing. He was ordered to take off. Buthelezi, I am unable to comment on that and I had no knowledge. Mngomezulu, that assault further continued. During the course of the assault, chopping was, during the course of assault and chopping, he was bleeding, and Sergeant Mokwane said, Yegelani Diman, leave this man. Buthelezi, I don't have any knowledge of that. Right. Yeah. We almost towards the end. Now, there's something that I don't understand. Advocate Ngumalo and Mnisi, they don't have questions. And I'm asking myself, what is going on? Why are you not asking questions? Like, this is me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Mshololo, you remember you arrested, accused, and found live rounds of ammunition? Butele says yes. Mshololo, is that charge included in paragraph 1? Butele says no. Yeah. Corner. This is to say, you are arrested for wrongdoing. As investigation continues, police discover another wrongdoing. What do we say to that? They don't. Hey, it's interesting. Mshololo, the form says you read the right to the accused, and it's not you unless unless the form is wrong. Buteles, it would be a mistake to say just because I didn't write it, I don't do so. Right. Mshololo now is interrogating the witness nice of right from which bears the date of the 31st of May while he was arrested on the 3rd of May. Hey. He was arrested on the 3rd of May and the rights were read on the 31st of May. So chances, when you are arrested, Angiti, they need to tell you that anything that you say will be used against you in court. So it's an advice that you remain silent. So it means that he might have incriminated himself. Hey guys. Hey man. Again, arrested on the 3rd of May, but the rights were read on the 31st of May. Again. It says the charge of illegal possession of ammunition is not on the form. Mshololo, you testify when you read the right, your colleague was next to you as a witness. Butele says yes. So why was that part of not completed? Why was that part not completed? Yeah, guys. More because clearly there's quite a lot that is happening. Mshololo, when you testify that you had explained the right to the accused, you were referring to this form, right? Buteles, I was explaining to him his constitutional right. Mshololo, the form says someone else and not you read the right. Buteles, it will be a mistake to say that that just because I didn't write it down, I didn't say it. Hey, guys, yes, there's so many inconsistency in this whole thing. It's just. I'll be free to tell you that it's safe to say, to believe the police, you will do it at the peril of your soul because there's so many inconsistency. You read the right on the 1st of May, but was arrested on the 3rd of May. Number 2, there was a witness when you were reading the right part, that part is not completed. Number 3, the form says you are not the one who actually were reading the right. So what should we believe then? You know what I'm saying? I'm asking you, please tell me, what should we believe in this whole thing? You know what I'm saying? No, bese Tina, we hate police. Tina, we've got a hatred against police. We love criminals. We hate police. Hey. Then Mshololo asked this question, what were your duties? Buteles uti, my duties were to affect and arrest and to protect the investigator. Do you have any written permission from your supervisor? I didn't need it. Do you have it or not? Mshololo. When she wants an answer, you're going to answer her. Mshololo, do you have any written permission from the day authorizing you to go and perform those duties in Tembisa that day? Arrest of accused number 2. No. Yeah, ne. Mshololo, and there's no supervisor that gave you that permission to go render those services. Do you know what a search warrant is? Did you have it? Buthelezi says, no. Why? Mshololo asked. We were not there to search, but for the ID. So why didn't you tell him to go and fetch his ID? Because you didn't have a warranty to search. Yeah. There's no supervisor who gave you the permission to carry out such a task. There is vice versa and all the stuff. How did he do that? He says over the phone, there's no such warranty. Hey, my daughter. I asked you, Lela, why did you not allow him to go and fetch his ID? You can't just release someone like that. But right now you have went there and you said it yourself confidently that you were busy searching people's room. You said, I opened this, I did that. You're nothing I'm telling you, right? Then objected and says the law makes provision for warranty of search. What time did you first arrest accused? I don't recall, but it was during the day. Buteles. Mshololo. And when was the accused detained? Butelezi, in the morning. So the entire day he was arrested, right? When were his rights explained? These rights were it was being put to the cell. At what stage? At the time that it is written here. So it means from midday 30 June until 31st, he was detained. He was detained. What was happening here? Utub tells us that the accused was arrested at around about 1 o'clock on the 3rd of May and was only detained the following morning. So from the time he was arrested until he was detained the next morning, you were there. Butele says yes. So what was happening in between? It's quite interesting. The evidence of Jonathan, that was the officers didn't want to give their appointment certificate to Magistrate Vivian Cronje, Butelezi Monareng, and Mapumulo. I was outside of the office. Butelezi, Mshololo, did you give your appointment card? I forgot to get that answer, whether he did or not. But there are quite a number of things that you can pick up from this whole conversation here. And that is to say, there is a lot of inconsistency within the South African Police Service, including the Metro Police, as to how these people were arrested. Looking or judging from the inconsistency and this just everything that has just happened here, from Hey, guys, there are a lot of things that are just doesn't make sense here. From where I'm seated, I can say I see these people walking free. When we get the judgment, and if this will ever happen, that accused number 1 and 2 get the judgment of this trial within a trial in favor of them, and as much as the case is already done and dusted, but it will be more like a done deal in the entire case. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But judging from the evidence that has been presented before the court right now, I don't believe the police here. I'm sorry to say that, but I don't believe them. Yes, that's me. But again, what's your take, Wayne? Give me your opinion. I'll see you on the next video. But until then, please take care.